Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Freddie Miller here, fired up. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm going to be starting in a little bit. Maybe I should share this to the groups. Hold on one second. Boom, 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 boom. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm going to get started in about 10-15 seconds. If you are joining me now, definitely let me know you're on. Definitely share this link on your page. I got some exciting stuff I revealed today, going through some podcasts, and really fired up about it because it's in alignment with what I'm one of the many things I'm doing right now in my search to become the best version of myself and learn and identify certain things and correct certain things in me to become a better person, leader, everything. So I'm super elated that you guys are on. I'm super fired up, guys. It's funny, you know, the whole saying, if you seek, you shall find, is so freaking true. If you really want to do something, if you really want to improve on something, if you really want to make things happen, you know, if you seek, you shall find. And I'll tell you, I've been, those have been following me the last couple of days, from my New Year's post to yesterday with the Dave Ramsey book. I basically said, you know, I got the book and stuff, and you know, I talked about 5 things I want to improve on this year, right? 5 goals I have this year. The first one is self-improvement in many areas, right? You know, financial, you know, just managing emotions. Personal development is obviously continuously spiritual. I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to improve on, and I share that with you because in my search today, I have a lot of podcasts that I listen to, but lately I've been reading so much and doing so much that, you know, I haven't been, you know, you can only do so many things at the same time, right? And so let me try to make sure I'm not that bright. So anyhow, today I'm going through my series of podcasts. I listen to Joel Osteen, I listen to Ed Milet, I listen obviously to Dave Ramsey, I listen to trying to think, there's a bunch of podcasts I listen to, and I ran into the one of Oprah, which I had recently been listening to the last month or two. And while I was listening to this podcast, it was a podcast with a doctor, reporter, a former reporter of the New York Times that reported on psychology and brain sciences. And it's interesting because you know, he's talking about the subject of emotional intelligence, something that he founded, was a pioneer in, right? Came out with the original book, Emotional Intelligence. Another thing, just like Dave Ramsey, that I was aware of, but I never really delved into, I never really studied, broken into. And guys, I listened to this podcast today, and I got the ebook, I've got the book coming in Amazon, and so I started doing research on it. But before I go into the research of it, you know, I'll tell you a little bit of what I heard, and then I'll go into some of the highlights of it, because I highly suggest everybody that deals with people, that's in a relationship, that wants to move forward in life, read this book and understand the basic principles and understand what they need to fix, because guys, it will make life flow way better for you. And I'll tell you, trying to improve myself in many areas, and like I said, if you seek, you shall find. I think I found a great book for me in some areas that I want to improve on. That basically explains it in such a way that I can, right? So you know, one of the things that, as I was listening to the podcast, you know, sometimes we're listening to a podcast and they say things and your mind goes off, and in the middle of the freaking podcast he says a phrase that I've never heard in my life, and this phrase was, "No one knows enough to be pessimistic." And it was so good that Oprah said, "What does that mean?" And Daniel Goldman, who's the gentleman that I'm talking about, says something good can happen you don't know about. And then he says, you just don't know what's going to happen. So what does that mean? That basically means that we are naturally negative. We naturally tend to believe things are not possible because of the way we're programmed, right? We live in such a negative world, and we believe, you know, most of the time that things are not going to pan out. And so by him saying no one knows enough to be pessimistic, it's just powerful, because the reality is, when we turn negative or whatever, we gave up. We stopped searching for solutions. We stopped finding a way to figure things out. And so it was so powerful for me that I got the book, right? I got the ebook. I'm gonna start reading it. I got the book sent to me because I want to have it physically. I want to highlight it and stuff like that and go over it. So you might ask, so what in the world is freaking emotional intelligence? Well, let me read to you what I read, or one of the versions that says, from a scientific standpoint, emotional intelligence is the ability to accurately perceive your own and others' emotions, to understand signals that emotions send about relationships, and to manage your own and others' emotions. I think that's kind of on the money with what I've been talking about. One of the things that I want to improve on. And it's just so funny, again, when you seek, you shall find. You know, I'm going through these podcasts, trying to pick up different clues and whatever, and Oprah has Mr. Emotional Intelligence, Daniel Goleman, on an interview for 30 minutes, talks about the Dalai Lama and everything. And, you know, one of the things he said was, you know, the ultimate goal in life, the ultimate goal in everything you do is to be in flow. And the only way to be in flow, right, where things just flow, there's no bumps, there's no how do you call it, things holding you back, there's no I can't think of the word. Anyhow, there's none of that, right? So he says the way to do that is you change the relationship that you currently have to thoughts and feelings. And I'll tell you, you know, I've had some challenges in relationship and whatever that had to do with thoughts and feelings. And had I changed the relationship that I had to those thoughts and feelings, I probably wouldn't have had a challenge, right? So for me, this is a huge breakthrough, because obviously, I mean, you know, I'm in, you know, as a leader, not just a relationship with my kids, with my lover, whatever, with my family, but in business, it's all about relationships, right? And conflicts can occur when, you know, there's misunderstandings, when you're not empathetic and whatnot. So let me go on a little bit more. He says the stories we tell ourselves give us limits or possibilities. Boom, write that one down. The stories we tell ourselves give us limits or possibilities, positive or negative. In other words, if we give ourselves negative limits, or, you know, negative stories, it's going to give us negative limits and possibilities. If we give ourselves positive stories, it will eliminate the limits, right, and endless possibilities. Breakthrough, huge, you know, right? He says, truly effective leaders are distinguished by a high degree of emotional intelligence. So guys, this is huge, and I want to end this part of talking about this, because this is as far as I've gone, because I kind of wanted to delve into like what makes what's going to make this book so special, what's the highlight, right? I kind of go to the summary. I'm an ADD guy, so I tend to get the cliff notes first and seek to understand before I understand, right? But number one, there's 5 components to emotional intelligence. They're self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and service skill. So self-awareness is basically self-confidence. Basically, self-awareness is the ability to understand and recognize your mood, emotions, and drive, as well as their effect on other people. How many people need to improve on that or really understand that? Say I. Number 2, so that's self-confidence. Number 2, self-regulation. The ability to control or redirect disruptive impulses and moods. The propensity to suspend judgment, to think before acting, trustworthiness, integrity, open to change. Guys, this is freaking huge, because again, I've been seeking to improve in these areas, because I've been challenged somewhat at times in these areas, and it's just so funny. Like, you know, when you're conscious of something, law of attraction type stuff, you know, the information comes just like everything else. Number 3, motivation, the third component of the 5 of emotional intelligence is motivation, a passion to work for reasons that go beyond money or status, a propensity to pursue goals with energy and persistence, optimism in spite of facing failure, strong drive to achieve. Guys, this is huge. I'm telling you. Listen to the podcast that I mentioned earlier with Oprah on this, that I stumbled across today just going through podcasts. It lit me up like crazy. I've been like the last hour and a half like a little kid writing down notes and stuff. Empathy, understanding the emotional makeup of other people, skill in treating people according to their emotional reactions. Now they say there's three types of empathy in emotional intelligence, and the first one is emotional, second one is cognitive, third one is compassion. And I'll basically break it down for you real quick. What it is: emotional is you feel awful, I feel awful. That's emotional empathy. Cognitive empathy is You feel awful, that must suck. And then compassionate empathy, you feel awful, I feel for you, how can I help? So those are the three types of empathy within that is stated here in emotional intelligence. And then number 5, service skill, is proficiency in managing relationships and building networks, and ability to find common ground and build rapport. This is people that are, this is a skill you want to master, or one of the 5 components that you want to master, so you're effective in leading change, inspirational leadership, and persuasiveness. Guys, all I can tell you is I'm lit up because those that know I'm definitely on a mission to improve myself on all areas. I mean, it's going to be an incredible journey, and I'm documented with these videos. I'll probably have a book by the end of the year of my big transformation on all aspects of life, because I'm working on so many different components, and I'm excited about it. I'm like a little kid in Christmas, lit up like a Christmas tree, because I see the possibility of it just making a dramatic impact, not just in myself, but everybody that surrounds me, from my lover to my relationships, with people and business, and just how life flows and everything. So I don't know about you guys, but guys, I'll tell you, whatever you want to do in life, whatever you want to be in life, whatever you want to achieve in life, whatever you want to overcome in life, the information's out there. Seek and you shall find. I'm a perfect example, and have been for many years, that anything's possible. And my challenge to you guys is, no matter where you're at in life, seek help. Seek help wherever it is that you struggle. If things aren't flowing in a certain area of your life, find out why. There's a reason why, and there's a way you can break it down. There's a way you can overcome it. There's a way you can learn things. There's a way you can unlearn things. There's a way you can drop things. There's a way you can just destroy things that aren't necessary, so that you flow, so you inspire, so you empower people to be, do, and have more in life. And that, at the end of the day, is my mission, to empower and inspire people to be, do, and have everything in life because of my example. And I will be documenting that all along my journey, and I hope and pray that makes a dramatic difference in your life, guys. Choose to be happy, choose to make things happen, choose to move forward, and choose to live an amazing life. From Miami, Florida, Freddie Malero, fired up. God bless. Happy Saturday. See you on the next video. Boom, fired up. Woo.